For years, Fort Myers promised an affordable piece of paradise. The draw wasn't just the powdery beaches or endless sunshine, it was the math. No state income tax, property taxes far below the Northeast, and everyday costs that seemed almost quaint compared to Miami or New York. During the pandemic, that equation turned explosive. How did paradise unravel so quickly? And could this be just the beginning for Florida's coast? Sunrise over the Gulf, palm trees swaying, and sand between your toes. For years, Fort Myers promised an affordable piece of paradise. The city's reputation as a snowbird sanctuary grew, but so did its appeal to younger buyers who saw a chance to escape cramped apartments and lockdowns. The city's growth was supercharged by new arrivals. By 2022, more than 50,000 people had moved to Lee County in just 2 years, pushing schools, restaurants, and roads to the limit. Construction cranes dotted the skyline as builders raced to meet demand. Listings vanished in days. Bidding wars erupted over modest ranch homes. For a brief moment, it felt like Fort Myers could do no wrong. The logic was simple: sunshine, savings, and security. Why pay $800,000 for a 2-bedroom in Boston when the same money bought a waterfront home with a boat slip in Fort Myers? Every open house became a stampede. Cash offers poured in from out of state, and longtime residents watched their home values soar. The dream of easy living and easy money seemed within reach for anyone who got in before prices climbed higher. Homes didn't just sell quickly, they disappeared. In 2021, the average Fort Myers listing lasted less than 10 days, with some snapped up in under 48 hours. Open houses turned into scenes of controlled chaos, buyers queued outside in the Florida heat, contracts already filled out, ready to waive inspections and throw down $5,000, $10,000, sometimes $20,000 over asking. Agents fielded a dozen offers by noon, their phones buzzing nonstop. Sellers barely had time to consider one bid before another, even higher, arrived. On September 26, 2022, the sky over Fort Myers turned black. Hurricane Ian, a Category 4 monster, drove a wall of water straight into the city's heart. Winds topped 150 miles per hour. Storm surge swallowed entire neighborhoods. In less than 24 hours, the landscape was changed beyond recognition. Streets that once bustled with tourists and new arrivals were buried under feet of sand and debris. Boats were tossed onto lawns, cars submerged, roofs peeled off like paper, power lines snapped, bridges buckled, and the grid went dark for days. The destruction was staggering. Damage across southwest Florida climbed past $78 billion, one of the costliest storms in U.S. history. Fort Myers Beach, a postcard stretch of pastel motels and seafood shacks, was nearly wiped off the map. Blocks of homes were flattened, hotels gutted down to concrete shells. In the aftermath, families returned to find only foundations and waterlogged memories. Infrastructure crumbled under the weight of the disaster. Water and sewer lines ruptured, cell service vanished. For weeks, piles of ruined furniture and drywall lined the curbs, waiting for trucks that couldn't keep up. Some neighborhoods stayed empty for months, their owners gone, their windows boarded, their lawns wild with weeds. The economic toll stretched far beyond the immediate wreckage. Small businesses shuttered, unable to recover from lost inventory and months of closure. Tourism, the lifeblood of the region, evaporated overnight. Hotels and vacation rentals stood vacant through what should have been peak season. The ripple effects hit every corner of the local economy, from restaurant workers to contractors to city budgets suddenly starved of tax revenue. For those who stayed, the sense of loss was more than material. The storm didn't just erase homes and landmarks, it shattered the promise of safety that had drawn so many to Fort Myers in the first place. In the wake of Ian, the risks of living by the water could no longer be ignored. What began as a paradise now carried a price that no one could have imagined. Insurance premiums in Fort Myers are rewriting the rules of home ownership. What once cost $4,000 or $6,000 a year now routinely tops $15,000, $20,000, sometimes even $28,000 for ground-level properties near the water. For many, the renewal notice is a shock, an instant jump that can double or triple last year's bill with no guarantee the policy will even be renewed at all. Major insurers have pulled out of Florida, leaving thousands scrambling for coverage. State-backed Citizens, once a fallback, is overwhelmed and still expensive. Agents now field desperate calls from owners who've received non-renewal letters or quotes so high they simply can't pay. One insurance professional recalls a client with an $850,000 home facing a $29,000 annual premium. The owner nearly fainted. That kind of sticker shock is no longer rare. The problem isn't just the price, it's the unpredictability. Insurers have redlined entire zip codes, especially those hit hardest by Hurricane Ian. Older homes, ground floor condos, and properties in flood zones are often declared uninsurable at any price. Even new construction isn't immune. Builders tout hurricane-resistant features, but buyers still face five-figure premiums and strict requirements like new roofs and wind mitigation reports. Flood insurance has become its own hurdle. FEMA's Risk Rating 2.0 now prices policies by actual risk, not broad zones, sending some premiums soaring overnight. Buyers are blindsided by 30-day waiting periods and last-minute policy denials, derailing closings and forcing sellers to start over. For many, insurance costs now swallow any savings from Florida's low taxes or affordable home prices. Those who bought at the peak are staring down losses they never imagined. Selling means locking in a hit, sometimes wiping out years of savings. But staying is not easy either. Many locked in low mortgage rates during the boom, making monthly payments manageable. For now. But insurance premiums and taxes keep climbing. Owners who lose a job or face a major repair often have no way out. Forced sales, divorces, or relocations push more properties onto an already flooded market, driving prices lower for everyone. The catch-22 is clear. Hold on and risk deeper losses as values fall. Sell and accept a painful reality. The dream of easy profit or a carefree retirement has evaporated. In Fort Myers, the volatility is not just in the market. It is in the lives of the people who call this place home. The so-called buy the dip opportunity in Fort Myers is proving far more treacherous than bargain hunters expected. Investors who snapped up homes at a 12% discount are discovering that the math no longer works, even at lower prices. Insurance premiums, now routinely five figures, devour any hope of rental profit. Maintenance costs and hurricane repairs add another layer of uncertainty. What looks like a deal on paper quickly unravels once the true cost of ownership comes due. Regional economists warn that the forces at play here are not short-term. A 75% price spike, followed by a Category 4 hurricane, a mass insurance exodus, and record oversupply. These are structural shocks, not just a market cycle. The last time Florida saw a crash of this magnitude, it took 6 to 10 years for prices to fully recover. Today, the picture is even more complicated. Climate risk is now embedded in every appraisal, every insurance quote, every buyer's decision. No peer-reviewed forecast will pin down a 5 or 10-year timeline, but the consensus is clear. Stabilization will take years, not months. One local economist puts it bluntly. What's different this time is the permanence of the risk. Insurance isn't coming back down. Hurricanes are getting stronger. The recovery, if it comes, will be slow and uneven. For those eyeing Fort Myers as a quick flip or a safe haven for cash, the warning is stark. The bottom may not be in. Even optimists admit that the days of easy money are gone. The reality is that Fort Myers could be a cautionary tale for coastal Florida, unless insurance reform, climate adaptation, and a rebuilt local economy can rewrite the story. Will the city bounce back? Or is this the new normal for paradise on the edge? In July 2025, the median home price in Fort Myers stood at $325,000, down 12.2% from the year before. A reversal that few predicted during the pandemic boom, when prices soared by 75% in just 2 years. The data is clear. Over half of all listings now face price cuts, inventory has surged to record highs, and more than 100 foreclosure actions were filed in May alone. Hurricane Ian's $78 billion impact and skyrocketing insurance costs have left lasting marks, with Lee County prices still 7.5% below pre-storm levels. Yet despite these numbers, no one can say for certain how long recovery will take or if the area's reputation can fully rebound. What is clear from court records to sales data is that Fort Myers' crash is not just about housing, but about risk: financial, environmental, and economic. Whether this remains unique to Lee County or signals broader danger for Florida's coasts, the documents leave no doubt. A once booming market can unwind much faster than it rose.